Malachi chapter 4, reading from verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Neither root nor branch. Friend, the world as you see it now is going to be on fire one day. This whole earth is going to be a fireball. God is going to set it ablaze. Nobody else, and nobody will be able to quench this one. No fire unit. There won't be enough. The fire units themselves will be on fire. Everything that is offend and is ungodly shall be on fire. But verse 2 promises us, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and he shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. Listen what God says. And he shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. So God himself says he's going to set this world on fire to get rid of everything that offends. And so therefore the only hiding place will be in Jesus. That's the last book of the Old Testament. That's the last warning about the judgment from the Old Testament. But it's not stopped there, because in the book of Peter we find 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 to 13. Listen to this. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. This whole world is going to be on fire. Everything going to be burnt. That's the Bible. I'm just the messenger. I'm reminding you, friends. You don't want to be on the receiving end of God's wrath when he comes to execute judgment upon a rebellious world and sinful man. You really don't want to be on the receiving end. Right? But it says, verse 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Alright? So God is warning us. He doesn't execute judgment before giving a warning. Verse 12 says, 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Thank God for the promise though in verse 13. Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. So God is going to purify the earth, friend. The same fire that burn up the wicked shall purify the earth, and let it be renewed for the inhabitants of the righteous. If you are not saved to escape this wrath of God, you shall be in the fire, burning up. Revelation chapter 9 verse 6 tells us. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 6 tells us what? Listen to this. It says, men shall be seeking for death and can't find it. It says, in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. You know, even in this wicked world, people turn to death for escape from punishment from the law or something after they do some horrible acts, or when they are suffering in pain and agony, they take their own lives. Thousands of people do it, right? People murder other people and they can't stand to the shame of what they did and for the impending judgment and imprisonment, so they commit suicide. But in the day of God's wrath, no suicide shall be effective. Men shall look for death, and death itself shall be looking somewhere to hide. Death itself shall be looking somewhere to hide. Yes, the Bible tells us that death itself will be cast into the lake of fire. Revelation chapter 20 verse 14, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So death itself shall die. He's going around as if he rules things. But God promised to put an end to the enemy called death. Let us go to Revelation chapter 6, 12 to 17 and see what God says here. Revelation chapter 6, 12 to 17. And I heard when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken from a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and every island were moved out of their places. This is going to be some earthquake, friends. Talk about all these little earthquakes, like the one in Haiti in 2010 and the one in Japan in 2011. Those are nothing but tremors, slight tremors, compared to the earthquake that is coming when the sixth seal is open. Are you ready? You better find shelter in the arms of God before it is too late. It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said unto the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth upon the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? The day of God's wrath is coming, friend. Who shall be able to stand? Lake of fire, Revelation 20, verse 9 and 10. We read it there already. Revelation chapter 20, verses 9 and 10. It says what? And they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven, and devoured them. So my God is a God of fire also, and he's going to do some serious stuff with fire. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beasts and false prophets are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. God's justice shall be satisfied. So if you don't want to be on that side, surrender to Jesus. Revelation 20 verse 14 and 15 says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Make sure, friend, your name is written in God's book of life, or you shall end up in the lake of fire. Revelation 21 verse 7 and 8. What it says here? It says here, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Oh, that's why the writer warns us in Revelation chapter. That time it shall come to pass, Revelation 22 verse 11, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. Verse 17, Revelation 22 verse 17. And the Spirit and the bride say, come. And let him that heareth say, come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. Jesus says, friend, in Matthew chapter 16 verse 16, to his disciples, they should go and preach the gospel in all the world. Whosoever believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but whosoever believeth not shall be damned. Call upon him while he is near. Get ready right now, friends, because the time of God's judgment is at hand. Yes, that's what he says. Mark chapter 16 verse 15. And he said unto them, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned. May the Lord have mercy upon you, and may you find grace before it is too late. Thank you, friend.